Hello everyone, I'm here with Sam and Isabel and Emma are in the other room. We're here in Providence. We made it to our Airbnb with the Exercise Science Club for the ACSM conference. It's Wednesday night at 8:30. We're gonna go pick up our pizza that we ordered. The second car of people will be getting here very soon, and we'll eat dinner and get ready for the conference tomorrow. Here's Emma and Isabel, like I was speaking of. We're about to go get our pizza. This Airbnb is really nice.
Ooh, she's beautiful.
Well, I'll give you a tour later once we claim our rooms.
We'll give a review of Providence pizza.
Yeah, we will. So we're going to get our pizza, masks on. Here we go. Take our walk. Noah's bed.
Good night, Noah.
Good night.
Look, it's so comfy.
I want a picture of him laying.
I know we do. Good night, Noah. Oh my God, wait, this is. Good night, Noah. Good night. Good morning, everyone. 7:30. We just parked on the beautiful streets of Providence. Gonna get some coffee and some breakfast.
We're not doing that.
Good morning, Sam. Good morning. Good morning, vlog.
On the camera.
That's what he was doing. I can't. Are we all gonna fit on that?
We all need to rent these.
Go catch up to Isabel and
See you there. We're here at the conference. We just went to our first little lecture unit. Noah and I went to one about overhydrating, and then one about CBD. They were interesting, but need more research, so kind of iffy conclusions, but it was pretty cool.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, gotta do more research.
I went to one about running tendinopathy. Super interesting. First half focused on like current traditional like PT rehab practices. Second part was more cutting edge therapies. We talked a lot about like shockwave therapy. Guys loved it.
That's cool.
Super cool.
Awesome. Sam, what'd you go to?
One on special considerations for youth athletes, and it's specifically focused on the injury perspective and how sport specialization can influence the injury rate versus having a more diverse athletic career when you're young. And when the presenter was saying youth, he was referencing people like middle school and below, so not including like adolescent, like high schoolers.
Interesting.
And it was very interesting. Probably information that a lot of people, generally speaking, understand within a major, but it was still interesting.
Start the doctoral student presentations in about 3 minutes.
And yeah. Oh, it changed. Family dog ownership and youth physical activity levels. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so
that's what we'll be hearing about.
presentations from doctoral students.
Yeah, some doctoral students' presentations. The ceiling in this room is kind of cool. Yeah, so we'll update after.
Thank you. I'll bring napkins right now.
Thank you.
So we're at lunch right now on our little lunch break. We just got our food. We're running a little late. I think we're supposed to be back already. So we might miss a little something, but you know, it's okay. We saw another like lecture that some of us went to, some of us did not. Serena and I talked to some colleges.
Yeah.
So about like grad programs. So thank you. No problem. Yeah, and everyone else attended the conferences. I'll let everyone eat, but yeah, we'll head back and go to more.
Hi.
Yeah.
You guys know me.
We know Sam, yeah. How's the food? Give me a review. Really good? Really good? Really good. Oh yeah, I want to eat mine now, so I'll update later.
Oh, later?
Yeah.
Wait, that's actually genius. If we can all find them for later when we come back.
Oh my God, we got 10 seconds.
Going.
I look.
Desperately need to shower. Showering again? Oh, I caught.
So we're out here on Thayer Street. We got some bubble tea. Isabel told me what to get. It's taro, medium taro slush with bubble. Oh, cheers. It's actually so good. Big fan. Oh, Emma just got us some insomnia cookies.
It's like a big ass turn.
She looks mad, but
Yeah, so we got our tea. We were just walking around. We're gonna go home and have dinner, and then we'll recap the conference over dinner, or while we're cooking dinner. Absolutely. So we'll get back to you.
Study. I mean, there actually is study.
We just had dinner, and we're recapping our day. So I whipped the camera out, but let you in on our convo.
Exercise physiology for, and I can never think of the word, the surgery.
Bariatric.
Yeah, bariatric surgery was very interesting because the individual was saying like he basically got the Yale program going because he was an undergrad, or if he wasn't undergrad, he was in a master's program, and they basically were like, we need you here to have all these people exercise now that they've had this surgery and they're 300 pounds and like they're like basically need to maintain the weight loss type of thing.
Yeah, that's such a crazy.
And it was really weird because he was like talking about how he basically was told, write a job description, like, and basically like explain what this job is. As a certified, he was an exercise physiologist. He had a bachelor's degree in exercise phys. And so he was like, well, I don't really know. And he actually like used the ACSM like ex-phys guidelines to build the job description because that's what he was using based on all of his knowledge from his undergraduate degree. But like the most like mind-boggling part to me was the fact that there are no guidelines for the specific like individuals who've had this surgery. Like it's literally like, I think it was something like 300 something in regards to like,
all about the nutrition?
No, well, sort of.
Because are there like intense nutrition guidelines?
So he was saying that he made a mistake right away. Like he basically asked the person, because they were like, they shouldn't be eating carbs. And like this person was like, because they'd lost so much weight, they wanted to run a marathon. And as we all know, as exercise science majors, like carbs is like the biggest fuel out of everything. So they were like, we don't know what to eat to like fuel ourselves now. And he was talking about how like he immediately was like, well, what are you doing for fruits and vegetables? But that's like really bad. Specifically, I don't remember what type of the surgery that he was referring to, but it's the one where you get your stomach stapled.
Yeah.
And what can happen is if you get a seed into the staple, you get an infection like immediately. So he was like, he said something like that to the client, and like his bosses basically like freaked out on him and was just like, you cannot suggest something like that, because he was like, his mindset was on the exercise, not the diet side, because that wasn't technically his job. But it was really interesting because as he got into the presentation, he was like, it's now progressing to the point where like the expectations for movements can literally be like moving your finger.
I need help from
and like that's enough for like the program for like a day.
Interesting.
And it was, and then it went into, because you guys were at this one. What did you guys get out of this one too?
I thought it was really interesting, especially how he highlighted a lot, like how people don't know what exercise physiologists actually do, like especially the surgeons and stuff. They're like, I didn't know that, like at one of the places he works, they don't let him touch the blood pressure cuffs. The nurse is like, you can't do that, you don't know how to do it, and he's like, yes, I do, but he has to go and ask the nurses to take all his patients' blood pressure, because they think like exercise physiologists won't know how to do it, like won't know how to do it properly. So it's just interesting, like the gap between the knowledge of the professions and stuff.
That was like a really interesting, I forgot completely about that. Like,
meanwhile, an exercise physiologist may know how to do it even better.
So that's,
And if
so
you're
that was
trained in that kind of
that
way.
was the part that he kind of elaborated on, is he was like, and considering that's something I learned as a freshman, when you're in a bachelor's degree in ex-phys, like obviously like for us, like we would have learned it in ex-phys, like the lecture and like the lab portion, but for him, like that was like the basic
But it's
level.
like you also learn how to do it during exercise, which is this even more difficult side of things that I don't know, but like
I don't know.
Is trained on that.
He kind of didn't go into that, but it was really interesting. So I asked him a question too. I was like, what's the perspective on like group exercising? Because you know how we talk about that in Sue's class a lot? Is I brought up that, and I didn't realize during his presentation he had like, did he skip over that part of his like, the try something.
No, he just didn't include, like, he had extra slides. But he didn't put it
Okay,
in.
okay,
Yeah,
because
he
I was
skipped
like,
over a
did
lot
I
of his extra
definitely, like,
slides.
did I miss that
No,
or
he didn't.
something? So, like, I basically asked him, I was like, what is, like, the perspective on having, like, group-focused exercise programs for individuals who are coming out of these surgeries? And it was really interesting because he basically was like, our research basically allows people to choose what they want to do almost, which is really interesting. But he was saying, like, this honestly makes a lot of sense. Like, there was a lot of individuals and participants who were just like, we, like, don't want to see others and we don't want others to see us.
Yeah, like he said, like one of the biggest things that he works with is like the psychology of it.
And I
like
want you to use the photo I sent you.
Most people don't want to see each other because they're embarrassed.
Yeah.
It was an interesting talk.
That actually feeds back into the like sexism, basically sexism lecture. And it was all this like the biggest indicator, or one of the biggest indicators for lots of physical activity is self-advocacy and being confident. And how this like benevolent sexism in the world and in this like that sort of subconscious idea of like, I don't even know how to describe it. She described it really well. But just this almost systematic sexism leads to...
All good. Emma just wanted the bathroom. Continue.
Leads to lower self-advocacy and this like belief that people are talking down to you in the sense of like, oh, I'm a woman or I'm a girl and I'm in PE class and I'm getting more encouragement than the boys. Does that mean they think I need that? Or I'm getting more like, this is what you need to do, like technical advice than the boys. Does that mean they think I can't do this? And how that leads to lower self-advocacy and lower physical activity. And if you're overweight and you get this surgery, you already have that lower self-efficacy. And what are the implications of then not necessarily being overweight or obese?
Yeah, actually he brought that up too because he said that a lot of times they get the surgery and they'll be like 300 pounds and now suddenly they're 170, but their mindset is when they were 300 pounds. So like they don't know that they can move now. And so they don't. And he's like, no, you can exercise. You can go do what it is that you want to do. Yeah. But it's just really difficult to like get them out of that like mindset.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds like a cool talk.
Honestly, it was very interesting. I will say that the I think this is like a common thing throughout all of the different presentations was each presenter approached their presentation differently. So there was moments where like it was really hard to follow along. But then there was moments where they would talk about something and it would just catch your eye, or you're like, you would just like kind of tune into it enough that you're just like, oh, and like realizing how fascinating like that part.
And then
of
there were also moments where I felt like, shouldn't everyone in this room know this?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so
I think there was, so the first presentation I went to, I thought was way too basic. Like it was like kit level.
We both felt that. It was all about gait labs and gait stuff.
Yeah.
See, for like the one that I went to was like sports injury in youth, and I really thought it was gonna go into more depth, which is why I went to it. And it just like it was literally about concussions and fractures. Like that's what it was, and I was like,
Yeah,
Damn.
the first one Noah and I went to about water, we literally read the article in one of our classes, and it was like, drink to thirst. One of the articles she referenced, and that was basically her conclusions, was just like drink to thirst.
Yeah.
And
If you're
then,
thirsty, drink water.
yeah.
I felt like some of them were really, really obvious, and then the opposite ones were like so over my head. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. This
There's no
microbiome. I
Yeah.
don't know what even that thing does.
Which is upsetting because
like,
microbiome stuff is actually
So
it's
cool.
so important.
But
It's cool.
the
but,
words
like,
are so complicated that
Yeah.
it's so easy to
and it
tune
could
out.
be simplified. Like
It could.
Yeah, she went into it assuming that we all had like this baseline understanding that the students did not. Yeah.
She was so smart. I was just like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
That's what I actually said.
I know.
Yeah. I felt like some of the professors went at a really good speed. Some of them I was like, if you were my professor, like I would not be able to keep up with you. Like,
yeah. But no, I mean, I went to the first lecture I went to was Tendinopathy and Runners, and that was super cool because it was so focused on sort of the PT side of things, which not a lot of the presentations were. And the first half was very like the conventional PT approach to sort of Achilles tendinopathy. And it's like that eccentric work. You're just doing eccentric calf raises and like over and over, and that's what it is. Whereas the second half was the more like cutting edge variation. So we talked about like steroids, which had mixed reviews, acupuncture a little bit, but mainly he was obsessed with like shockwave therapy. And using that to treat
so effective.
the tendinopathy, and like he went pretty in depth, and that was super cool because that's what I wanted to go into. And as much as everything else interests me, I was like, okay,
This really stands out.
like this can allow me, like this is something that as a PT I would be able to refer patients to
100%.
or do myself. And so that was really cool too.
Yeah, that one sounded great.
Steroids, like
Yes.
steroid injections. I'm so
yeah, they've
against
never
it.
really done.
I learned
No,
so much.
and he
I
was the
learned so
same.
much about it this summer and like how bad it is to breaking down like tissue and bone and just like the elasticity and the cartilage and it's
So like he showed the
it's more
studies
damaging.
and like he showed when it was sort of like okay and why it wouldn't be, and to be super cautious about it. And then acupuncture was similar but different because there was one study that had really, really solid results. But there's not a scientific explanation. Like you can do a scientific explanation for dry needling.
It's all based on
but you can't for the umbrella of acupuncture. And that's the side of things that I'm super fascinated in personally. Like I love the integrative health stuff. Definitely gonna get a dry needling cert, if not go further. Like
that was one of my favorite things about the summer was doing dry needling.
Morning, everyone. Hi. Day 2. Let's go. Hey everyone, it's lunchtime. We're here. We just ordered food at like a grilled cheese, mac and cheese place, and now we're sitting in the Johnson & Wales campus. It's really pretty actually. Emma and Isabella are over there laying in the grass, but it's really pretty. So far today, we went to talk about women in sports and like sex differences and like injury prevention and injury rates and stuff. That was really interesting.
It was very intriguing.
Yeah, and there's like a part 2 to it this afternoon that I'll probably go to about like specifics in like women skaters and dancers. So that'll be cool. And then we also went to one about what was it? Oh, accelerometry and chronic conditions and like tracking movement. And one was a little hard to follow, like hard to pay attention to.
The first part, the first lecture, I think was better because her data made a lot more sense and like her presentation was way more like clear and concise. But I think that the second presenter, one, did not have enough time.
No, she had like 7 minutes and then tried to cram it all into 7 minutes.
Which it wasn't her fault by any means. Like I think that was like an immediate disadvantage.
Yeah.
I think that the second presenter had a more interesting topic.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the first part we like kind of already knew, just basically. So
The first part was just
like basic
pulmonary disease, like artery disease. But the second part was on HIV and cancer, which are both based on the data that the first presenter kind of brought up. All 3 of the topics that between the 2 of them that they had studied were very under studied. Like there was not enough data on them.
Yes.
So they were all very interesting topics. Just wasn't enough time.
Yeah. And I kind of had like checked out. I can't focus for too long. So lunch and then back for another presentation, and then we're going to the exercises medicine ambassadors.
So we're gonna become ambassadors.
Thing. So yeah. And then we'll head home. Try and check in with the other groups and with the other people and see what they went to, but I don't know where they are right now. So catch in later. Check in later. We're leaving.
Goodbye.
We're done. How was everyone's day? I haven't seen most of you.
Norwich.
Give a recap. Anyone?
Day.
Okay.
I met the physician of the Boston Ballet who actually went to UVM, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, she did? That's
yeah,
sick.
she did. She was really sweet. It was a good.
Oh, bye.
Bye, guys.
Anyone have anything to say to the
Are we supposed
vlog?
to like hug her? Like,
I'm losing my mind. Oh, this is gonna be awkward.
Okay. See ya.
We'll literally see each other like so soon. Okay, bye.
It's no longer 80.
We split up. Drive safe, everyone. XOXO. Why am I sad? Okay, now finish your recap, Emma. The vlog needs to hear it. We met the Boston Ballet team physician, and she was a UVM grad, and she was awesome. And her research was so interesting. I read about it. Fingers crossed that we get to see her again soon. And we'll bring her maple syrup. We look like angels. You see her? You are angels. We have our bird boxes, bird seed to go.
Was she super excited to see UVM students here?
Yeah, she was. She was cute. She was so fun. Yeah.
She was like, I went to UVM. We were like, no way.
No way. And then to end out our day, we went and listened to see how we can become exercise medicine ambassadors. So that'll be cool. We have to continue the process when we get home. We'll get a quiz and take the quiz and stuff, and then we can be exercise medicine ambassadors on our exercise medicine gold campus. Go UVM. So yeah, all good things. So we'll be ambassadors. Love that. It's a great couple days. Learned a lot. Met a lot of cool people. Yeah. So we're heading home. Back to Burley. Here we come for UVM.